Hello and welcome everyone. My name is Zafar, and in this video we're going to talk about JavaScript functions. So functions in JavaScript are a huge topic and there's so much to them. And the more you learn about them, you realize that there's yet more to learn. So in this video we're going to keep it simple. We're going to learn the absolute basics or the foundations of functions, and in the next video we're going to discuss more about them. So first of all, what is a function? So a function in the simplest definition is nothing more than a human readable name or a label, right, that we put on some block of code, right? So why do we need this label? Why can't we just, write the code without giving it that label? Well, in programming, we have this idea, it's called the dry code or dry code. It stands for don't repeat yourself. And the idea is that let's say you need let's say 10 lines of code in 5 different places. You really shouldn't write that 10 lines over and over and over again, because later if you want to change it or edit it, now you have to remember all the places that you copied and pasted that block of code, and then you have to go there and change it. But instead we use functions, right, to write that block of code once, and then we can run it wherever we want and anytime we want. So let's see, how do we write a function? So to write a function in JavaScript, we use the function keyword, right? So this tells JavaScript that I'm gonna write a function, or I'm writing a function. Now I need to give it a human readable name. So suppose my function will just print some messages to the console. So I'm just gonna call it print messages like this. Now what's really important is we need those parentheses right here, right after the name of the function. So we're not going to talk about them in this video. We're going to keep them to the next video, but for now, just always you have to use the parentheses, right? And the way we start our block of code is with this curly bracket, right? And notice that the console didn't run anything, right? It moves the cursor to the next line because it knows that I'm not done yet. I'm not done writing my function yet, right? Because I opened the curly bracket and I didn't close it. So again, we use the function keyword to tell JavaScript that we're writing a function. We give the function a human readable name, or we give a block of code a label or a human readable name. And then we need those parentheses. So we didn't discuss about those parentheses in this video, but in the next video we will talk about those parentheses. And the way we start our block of code is with this curly bracket, okay? So inside here, you can pretty much write anything, right? You're giving a block of code a human readable name. So I can do console.log, hello, my name is Zafar. Notice when I hit enter, it doesn't run the line, or it doesn't do anything. It moves to the next line again, because it knows, or the console knows, that I'm not done yet writing my function, because I didn't close this bracket, right? So I'm going to do another console.log, I love programming. And maybe do another console.log, I love playing video games. Alright, so now once we're done writing the function, we need to close, right, that curly opening brace, right? So we need a left-facing brace, right? So this is the opening bracket and this is the closing curly bracket. And I hit enter, and notice it tells me undefined. So that's totally fine, by the way. But it tells you undefined because, remember, the console, right, is evaluating all the code. And if any code returns something, or console.log something, it will show it to the console, right? In this case, though, we're just giving a name, right, to this block of code, but we didn't run it. We just said that call this block of code, these 3 console.logs, call it print messages. But I didn't do anything else, right? So I just gave this 3 lines of code a human readable name. I defined the function, right? And I didn't execute it. So now, if I do print messages like this, notice that now the console knows about my function. It says, oh, I remember the print my messages function. Here it is, right? So it's in memory right now. So now the console knows about my function. So now the question is, how do I run this code? How do I execute the function we say, right? So to execute the function or to run the code, I'm going to do print messages, and notice that I use these parentheses, right? So every time you execute a function that's written like this, you need those parentheses, right? And this is very, very important. If you don't put the parentheses, you're not executing the code, you're just referring to the actual functions. Like remember here, if I just do print messages without the parentheses, I'm just asking the browser, do you know anything, or do you know about anything that's called print messages? And it says, oh yeah, I know a function called print messages, and here it is, right? But to execute the function or to run the block of code that's in the function, right, we use those parentheses. Notice now if I hit enter, now the code runs. So now anytime I need this functionality, right, anytime I need to console.log, I don't need to write 3 lines over and over and over again. And suppose this is 50 lines. All I have to do is write 1 line, which is the name of the function followed by these parentheses. So in this video, we talked about the very basics of functions in JavaScript, right? We discussed what is functions, how to use them. We discussed why do we even need functions. In the next video, we're going to talk about even more concepts related to functions like arguments and parameters. Let me know if you have any questions down in the comments below. And don't forget to like and subscribe for more videos every single day.